Everybody, good morning. In this video, we're going to talk about decisions, but give me about 45 seconds to explain this really quick. And then at that point, you can determine if you want to watch this video. But anyway, we're going to talk about decisions in a different way. We're going to talk about decisions. When we talk about manifesting never dollar techniques, we talk about living the end, dwelling the end. We talk about, people want to manifest their dream house. Okay. You want to be a multimillionaire. You want your dream car. You want your dream job, your dream career, whatever you want to do. Okay. And what comes with that is when we're falling asleep, we're going inside our imagination, falling asleep in the end. What comes with that is different decisions. Okay, we're starting to slowly change our paradigm. Okay, when we start truly living the end, dwelling the end, sooner or later, we start carrying ourselves different. And what comes with that also is different decisions. And different decisions from our old self, our old paradigm. Okay, our new paradigm is our intention. Our new paradigm is that dream house you want, that dream car that you want. That's your new paradigm. Okay, but your old paradigm, your old self, your old decisions, your old habits are going to fight against you. Okay, and it might give you anxiety. Okay, it might give you fear, where you come up to that fear barrier. Okay, and you have to kick down that fear barrier. Okay, you have to bust through it, because at that point, and I've talked about it before, at that point, okay, that's going to make or break us. Okay, there's a time that we come to that fear barrier. And this is what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to wrap this thing around decisions and all types of stuff. So if that's interests you, hang in there. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to walk over here, grab my coffee because I sat it on the car. Bo's over there looking at me. You can't see his eyes, but he was kind of giving me a dirty look because I didn't let him out to run around, because I'm going to walk up here to the road and I don't want him to follow me on the road. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm gonna sit down, have a little chat, then I'm gonna do my walk. Okay, a lot of things kind of mix in here. Okay, it's not just decisions. Okay, but it's really the fight between our old paradigm, our old self, and our new paradigm, our new self. You know what I mean? Like that. And our new paradigm we're trying to do is usually it wraps around our attention. Okay, wraps around what you want, wraps around that new life that you want, wraps around you want that dream house, that dream car, you want to be a millionaire, you want to make more money, a dream job, your dream career, whatever it is you want to do. That's your new paradigm. That's your new self, and your old self is going to fight against it. Okay, it's always going to fight against it, and that's going to create sometimes anxiety. It's going to create worry and doubt and fear, just because your old self, you've been your old self your whole life, and depending upon how old you are, you eventually the two is going to meet. Okay, and eventually if you haven't gone through this, eventually you will, and especially when you start doing Neville Goddard techniques, okay, or any technique that surrounds you're setting an intention, you're going inside your imagination, you're feeling that wish fulfilled, you're feeling it, you're actually doing it inside your imagination. It makes you excited inside your imagination, like you're really doing it. You really have it in your 4D world. And then you drift off to sleep. Then the next phase to that is, you live in the end, dwell in the end. So when you live in the end, dwell in the end, the basics to it is you act as if you already have it. You act as if you already have that dream house. Okay. You act as if you already have that dream job. And, when you start acting as if, what that really details is that you already have it. So you have to, this takes a little bit of work, and you can have fun with this. This doesn't have to be, a super anal. You have to be super serious and anal with it. Have fun with it. Okay. But you'll get better and better and better with it as you go on. How would you really behave and act? Okay, if you really have what you want, you're really living the life that you want. Okay, you're not going to be the same person. You gotta get that out of your head. You're not going to be the same person. Yes, in a way, you are the same person, but you're going to be a bigger version of yourself. Okay, you don't carry yourself different. You don't make different decisions as that person. Okay, that has your dream house. Okay, and that's what you have to start to realize. And what kind of started me knowing, I mean, I kind of knew this. I've been in personal development for most of my life. Okay, I'm in my 40s. So I but when I really started getting super anal with Neville Goddard and Neville Goddard techniques and super anal with manifesting and trying to get to the core to understand this and really understand it in my own life, not to understand it to teach. Okay, because a lot of people teach and they get no results. Okay, they haven't figured it out themselves. They're not really practicing what they preach. And with me, it was always about how can I figure it out? How can I figure out the key to success? How can I, for me, you know what I mean? Then once you figure it out for yourself, you can help other people. Okay, you're practicing what you preach. Okay. So what I found was like when I was doing the Neville Goddard technique is that I started paying attention to that when I would go inside my imagination and see myself as a multimillionaire, see myself with $15 million in my bank account, see myself in my dream house, and not just see myself as a third person, but really try to be first person inside my imagination. What I started noticing was, and I picked up on in my 4D world, is that I was more confident in my 4D world. I made different decisions, quicker decisions in my 4D world. I carried myself different in my 4D world. My character was different in my 4D world. Yes, I was still Chad. Yes, I still had my personality. Yes, I was still kind of quirky and funny and stuff like that. But I started to notice these things in my 4D world. And this is what ends up happening. Your 4D world, what you want. Okay, one we have to understand is that what we see in our 4D world, what we see in our imagination, and we hold it in our imagination, we can have it, no matter what it is, positive or negative. And that's what you have to understand. It doesn't just work on the positive side. What most people are doing, they're using for the negative, and that's why you got negative things come into your life all the time. Okay, it's working both ways. This is the basic laws of the universe. We actually bring in the laws of the universe or the laws of nature, whatever you want to say, or God's law. Is that it works both on both spectrums. Okay, it works for the good and it works for the bad. It works for the positive, works for the negative. Works for our positive thoughts, it works for our negative thoughts. It works for what we want and it works for what we don't want if we fester on it. Okay. So with this, I started noticing it. I was like, wow, okay, it's kind of weird, kind of weird to talk about, but you notice it too. You notice when you go inside your imagination, you want that dream house. You're walking around your dream house. You're sitting on a couch watching TV. You're having parties. You're carrying yourself different. You're a different version of yourself. Yes, you're you, but you're a different version of yourself. And what Neville Goddard means when we go a little bit deeper, when you say dwell in the in, dwell within, live in the in, is you truly act as if, okay, you truly act as if you have that dream house, that dream car, that dream job, that dream career. And what comes with that when you act as if? Well, what comes with that no one tells you is that eventually you have to start making different decisions because it's bridging that gap. You have your old version of yourself, your old paradigm, and your new version. That new version has your dream house. Okay. The new paradigm of yourself has everything that you want, but it's in your 4D world. Okay. Your 3D world over here is this right here is what I can see. Okay. And it's bridging that gap, but your old version will fight against you because it fights against you because you have those old patterns. It's like the law of karma. Okay. People keep stuck in the law of karma. How do you keep stuck in the law of karma? Okay. You keep stuck in the law of karma because you keep making the same old decisions. You keep having the same old habits. You keep having the same old negative patterns, the same old thinking. That's what keeps you in the law of karma. Okay, if you believe in karma, or if you believe in a cycle of karma. Okay, why do these negative things constantly keep on reoccurring in my life? Okay, now we have some things constantly happen to us. It seems like every week, every month, every couple months, we have we have different patterns that we keep on jumping to, and it's the same pattern. We could discuss this several different ways. Even with relationships. Why do people Okay. And I'm not going to discuss this, but I'm going to say it. But why do people jump from one bad relationship to another, one bad relationship to another? They just jump from one negative to the next negative. It's the same thing. They just keep on jumping. They just keep on doing the same thing, expecting different results. That's the law of karma. Okay. We keep doing the same thing. And it really comes down to our habits. Okay, what we're used to doing, our thinking patterns, what we're thinking about, and our decisions. Okay. So when we start taking Never Galda really serious, we're gonna start noticing this stuff. And we start taking living the end and dwelling the end really serious. Okay. There's gonna be times where it's like when you live in the end, you dwell in the end, and let's say you want to be a millionaire. Then let's say in your 3D world right now, that old paradigm of yourself, let me give you some examples. Let's say every time you pay your bills, you sweat. You get anxiety to pay your bill. Every time you go to check the mail, you get something in the mail that is a bill. You know it's a bill, resembles a bill. I almost said beer, but but a bill. And you just start you just your mind, you're secretly thinking, your mind, oh, every time you go pay a bill, you kind of like, oh, I don't want to, you see that money leaving, you don't want the money to leave, you get a little bit of anxiety, a little bit worried. You sit there and you just sit there where if you're old fashioned, maybe you have a checkbook where you're balancing your checkbook, or you do it online, whatever your system you're using that keeps you in that moment of worry, doubt, and fear over paying your bills. Okay. Maybe you go out with friends and you're the type that when it comes down to pay the bill, you're kind of passive aggressive. You're very passive with it. You the whole time you're eating, you're thinking to yourself, well, who's going to pay? Am I going to pay? Is he going to pay? Are we going to split? Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to pay. So then, when it comes down to pay the bill, you kind of stand back to wait for your friend to take charge to see what he's going to do, or you secretly think, well, hopefully he gets it. You know what I mean? Or you're really slow. If you're a guy, maybe you're really slow pulling out your wallet, to kind of pay, to kind of see if somebody else is going to jump forward. Or maybe you're standing in line to pay your group of your friends, and you're standing up front, but you slowly start migrating in the back to see if somebody else will step up and pay for it. Okay, a lot of us have done this. Okay, I've done this. You know what I mean? Just to be transparent, I've done this before. Okay, but these are old habits, our old paradigm. And on top of that, these are scarcity habits, poverty habits that we're doing. Okay, this is what you got to realize. You want a millionaire lifestyle, you want your dream house. Okay. But at the same time, you want your dream house, same time you're trying to live in the end, but then you have these bad habits. Oh, you have these scarcity habits, poverty habits you're doing every single day. Okay, you're either doing them in action, okay, or you're doing them in thought. You're in thought, you're either speaking it or it's your secret thoughts. That's what you're doing all day long. Okay, every single day. And it keeps you in that cycle. It keeps you exactly stuck exactly where you are. Then you start getting it. Then you start like, oh, I gotta make better decisions. I gotta, because that millionaire side of me, I'm a millionaire in my 4D world. That person's gonna make different decisions. That person's gonna make quicker decisions. Okay, if you had $1 million in your bank right now, would you be worried about paying your bills? Well, probably not. You would just pay them. Maybe you have someone pay them for you. Okay. But when you go out and eat, it wouldn't even cross your mind. It wouldn't even be in your mind who's going to pay for it. It would take up no ounce of energy from you. You would not care. Okay, I would not care if I pay the whole bill, if we split, or whatever we're going to do. I'm going to be cool with it. It's not going to affect me whatsoever. Okay, if I just want to take charge and treat, it's going to be a quick decision like that. I'm not going to sit there and fester on it. I'm not going to sit there and try to overanalyze it. I'm just going to make a decision because I'm not going to care. When I go to pay my bills, I'm not going to care. No matter if I pay off my credit card every single month full, or I make a payment, I'm not going to care. I'm just going to do it. Okay. Any new things that happens in my 3D world, I'm not going to give it. It's just my perception of it. Anything negative that comes in my world, I'm just going to walk around it. I'm not going to give no energy to it. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. If my car needs fixed, I drive down the road and blow a tire and I got to fix a tire. I'm not going to give no energy. I'm just going to fix it. I'm not going to give no energy to it. No negative energy. I'm just going to look at it as, oh, lucky I blew it here. I didn't blow it on the freeway. No, it protected me. It made me safe blowing it right here. Maybe something else would have happened. It was protecting me from something else or protecting me from a huge accident. That's how I'm look at it. I'm just gonna fix it. I'm not gonna like do a little tantrum and stomp my feet like some people do, or an old version of myself would do, and say, "Oh, this is gonna throw off my whole monthly budget." Okay, if you're a millionaire, you're not gonna do that kind of stuff. You're just gonna fix the tire. Your perception is, "Oh, hey, luckily it happened now, not on the freeway," and just pay, go get it fixed, and that's it. You're not gonna give it no energy whatsoever. It's you've done it. You handled the issue, out of sight, out of mind. You're never gonna bring it up again, and that's it. You're not going to dwell on it and fester on it and think about it for the next 2, 3, 4 months. You're not going to do it. I mean, this is the stuff you got to start realizing. You got to sit down and ask yourself the right questions. You got to sit down and say, okay, if I had my dream house right now, how would I really be acting? And what's going to happen is you're going to start catching yourself in your 3D world. When you go off in your day, you're going to start catching yourself on negative patterns or negative habits you have or negative actions that you're taking. That it's like, dude, no, I don't want to be this person no more. Okay. And this is why, in the beginning of the video, I brought up the fear barrier. The best person I kind of explained the fear barrier is when I used to be mentored by Bob Proctor. And he passed away. I believe he passed away about a year and a half ago, something like that. But with Bob Proctor, he explained the fear barrier perfectly. And the fear barrier is our dream life, what you want, your intention, that dream car, that dream house, that millionaire lifestyle is on the other side of fear. Okay. So what I started kind of putting together is sooner or later we come up to this fear barrier. Sooner or later, when we're living in the end, dwelling in the end, okay, we gotta start mimicking the new version, a new paradigm that we have, the new version of ourselves. Eventually we have to start mimicking that person. And when we mimic that person, what comes with that is decisions. And when we get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to this fear barrier, okay, we're making better decisions. We're even though we don't like it, even though sometimes it make us feel like we're sick and nauseous, and we can have an upset stomach, we can have anxiety. Maybe it makes you sweat a little bit because you're making different decisions. Because the person in your 4D world, the person on the other side of fear in your 4D world is making better decisions than you are right now. But when you're going through it in your 4D world, it causes worry, doubt, and fear. Worry and doubt lead to fear. And now all of a sudden you hit this fear barrier. Now all of a sudden you're so scared because you're way out from your comfort zone. You're not comfortable no more. You're way out from your comfort zone because you're living this new life. You're living this new life that you want. You're making different decisions, but it scares the flipping shit out of you. That's your fear barrier. But what most people do, they come right up to fear, but they don't push through it. What do? They run right backwards to their comfort zone. What's their comfort zone? Okay, their comfort zone is a law of karma. Their comfort zone is who they are right now in the 3D world. Okay, the same. If you're indecisive, your comfort zone is you want to remain indecisive. You don't want to be decisive. You don't want to make decisions. Okay. If you're indecisive, your fear barrier is going to be making quick decisions, making decisions for yourself, quick decisions, and never changing your mind. That's going to be a fear barrier for you. Okay, you're going to be scared when you're going from indecisive and you start making decisions and you're trying to stop. You're not overanalyzing it. You're not thinking about it for a month. You're not thinking about it for 6 months. You're not festering on it. You just make a decision. Just do what you want. Don't overanalyze it. If that's what you want to do, make a decision. That's what you want to do and do it. Okay. Sooner or later, you might do this on little things like making yourself a cup of coffee. Okay. What coffee do I like? Oh, I like Colombian coffee. And you go buy Colombian coffee and make Colombian coffee for yourself. Start off with small stuff. Then you start doing it with small stuff. Then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger decisions. And it comes up to that fear barrier. Okay. A lot of us go backwards. Once we hit that fear barrier, we're so scared. We're so out of our comfort zone. It scares us. We want to run back to our comfort zone. We want to run back to our comfort. But when we run backwards, we're running backwards to our old life. Because what's on the other side of fear is what Never Got to explain, that's your attention. That's your dream house. That's your dream car. That's your multimillionaire lifestyle that you want. That's your dream job, your dream career. Okay. And once we get more comfortable with making decisions and we'll be and more confident in those decisions, that's what kind of manifests to us. Okay, it's everything's really a self-reflection. Okay, what's manifesting to you is just a self-reflection of yourself, and it's self-reflection from within. From within out is how what's coming into your 3D world. It's all a self-reflection. If you think life is hard, well, the self-reflection is life is going to be hard. If you think life is easy, the self-reflection is, well, life is going to be easy for you. If you think that you think it's easy to make money, your self-reflection is money's going to come to you more easily. Okay, if you think it's hard to make money, you think you have to work hard for money, well, that's your perception, and that perception has to become real in your reality. This is how this stuff works. Okay, but I'm really going down a rabbit hole. I'm really talking way longer than I really wanted to on this topic. But that's what you have to start being aware of. This is your next phase. Okay, when Never Got to kind of wrap this up, when Never Got to really means living the end, dwell in the end. Okay, that's what he's really talking about. Is you're becoming a new version of yourself. You're carrying yourself different. You're behaving different. You're making different decisions. Then you start analyzing your decisions. Like, in my 4D world, I'm a multimillionaire. In my 3D world, I'm not. So you start analyzing your decisions. Well, when you live in the end, you think, okay, I already have $1 million. I already have $15 million in my bank. So would I be waking up every day being worried about money? Well, no, I wouldn't. So you stop it. Okay, you work really hard to stop it. Then you start analyzing, you start being aware of your little habits you have throughout the whole day. Then you start second guessing yourself. Like, I'm already a millionaire. My YouTube channel is already viral. Would I be waking up every day checking my YouTube? I wouldn't. Would I be waking up every day and saying, how did this video perform? I wouldn't. Okay. I wouldn't do that if it was already viral, if it was already successful, if I already had millions of dollars in the bank. Okay, or making millions of dollars for my brand. I wouldn't just get up and, check it. Check where it is. Check on that one. Or get up and look outside. Ooh, I don't see my dream car in my garage yet. This is kind of things, I'm doing it kind of silly, but this is kind of things that we're doing. And you have to realize that when you live in the end, you are that person right now. Okay, your awareness is you are that person right now. Okay, the person that wants that dream car, you are that person right now. You have that dream car right now. But you got to start acting like it. You got to start mimicking it. And what comes with that, of course, is decisions and our habits. You got to start catching yourself in your 3D world that doesn't align with that new version of yourself. And you'll get better and better with this. And I did a video. I'm going to wrap this up with this, and we're going to kind of call it quits. Is I just got an intention that I set maybe about 8 months ago. 8 months ago, I live in Thailand, go back and forth to Thailand. And I set an intention that I wanted a 1-year visa because I'm under 50. I'm under retirement age. So when you're under retirement age, it's very hard to have a long-term visa. You understand what I'm saying? Rather than getting tourist visas or multiple entry visas, or you're jumping border, you know what I mean? You can stay, but you have to jump through some major hoops. If I didn't want to jump through hoops, I just wanted a year visa. I can stay there a year, don't have to leave. That's what I wanted. I set this intention, went inside my imagination, did all the work. It took about 8 months. But how it happened was it came down to the wire. Like, it came down to here right now, that it came down to the last week that I had to file a visa. And I still didn't know what visa was on file. And when it came down to me having to file the visa because I was leaving in the next 4 weeks, so I already had my plane ticket. So when I sat down to file a visa, I'm thinking, well, I might just have to file the tourist visa. Then when I sat down to file, lo and behold, Thailand came out with a new visa program. The new visa program was a 5-year visa, a multiple entry, meaning you can go in and out of Thailand anytime you want, and you can stay up to 1 year every time you come to Thailand. I was like, holy crap. And I qualified for the qualifications. I submitted for it. I gave them all my documents, and it got approved in 1 day. It came down to the wire. It actually came down to me actually sitting down and filing my visa, and it was the new one was there, and I got my attention. Okay. But what's, but how this really connects is because in my imagination, I saw myself having that visa. I carried myself. I could feel it, because I've been to Thailand before. I've been to Bangkok airport. I've been to Phuket airport. I've been through customs and immigration. So it was easy for me to put myself in those situations inside my imagination to produce that feeling state that I already have the visa I wanted, because I've been in those scenarios so many times. It was easy for me to produce that feeling state. It was easy for me to just, feel myself going through customs and handing them my year visa, so they just let me through. Okay. But what was kind of weird with that, I had a after it happened, it was excited, but I had a surreal experience with it, meaning that once I got it, and I got over that initial excitement phase. Okay, we all get excited when our attention comes, but it really felt like when I set the intention 8 months ago, it really felt like I had it for 8 months. It really felt like I had it the whole time. And this is what you have to understand. Once you go inside your imagination, once you go inside your 4D world, it's already yours. All you're really doing is waiting for it to really happen in your 3D world. And that's what the surreal experience I had. It was already mine. Okay. And it really felt like that. It really felt like I had it the whole time. It didn't feel like, well, I just got it a week ago. Okay, even making this video, I've only had it for maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that, because I'm leaving for Thailand in 2 weeks from now. So, that's the surreal experiences that you have, that once it does happen, it feels like you had it the whole time. And you start connecting that, you start carrying yourself. The whole time I've been here, the last 3 months, when I wake up, I would tell myself that, oh, I already have my visa. I don't even worry about it. I didn't even worry about it. Just let it go. And I mean, out of sight, out of mind. I didn't fester on it. I didn't get on the computer. This is what I started doing. I just believed that I had it. I acted as if I already had it. I didn't wake up every day searching. I didn't do any of that. Okay. I literally sat down and I sat down the 4th week out. Okay. Because once you're 4 weeks out from flying out, you really need to file a visa. Okay. You're really playing with, if immigration's super busy or they take longer, you don't want to have to change your flight. So I really sat down at the last minute, but the whole time I've been here, it's just been out of my mind. I just let it go. I just told myself, this is what I'm gonna have when I go back to Thailand, I'm gonna have this visa. Okay, that's what I would tell myself. I didn't search new ways to do it. I didn't search a strategy. I didn't try to control the how. Okay, like like I used to love to do, or like many of us try to do. We're trying to search a strategy. I didn't do none of that while I was here. Okay, I was just, every time it would pop up in my mind, it was like, oh, I'm going back on a 1-year visa. Okay, I completely let it go. Okay, I carried myself as if that's going to happen, and it happened. But it happened like right when I sat down. This is what I'm going to say. It happened right when I sat down, right when I got on the computer, and I was like, dude, I got to file a visa. I got to file something. And I sat down, and that's when it happened. Right when I actually sat down to file, sat down to do it. Okay. But anyway, I just want to share that with you, because when we have these experiences, you're going to connect it back to, going inside your imagination, doing these techniques, and you're going to start, it's going to start making you more and more confident in other things that you want. And you need to start mimicking what you're doing. You need to start figuring out what works for you. Okay. What's working. Okay. So, because we all have different bad habits, we all have different bad, we know that's what we're trying to figure out. That's why I always say you have to be aware of what you're doing. You have to be aware of your awareness. Okay. But anyway, just want to share that with you guys. Make sure you comment below. Love to hear from you. Love to hear where you're at, if you made it this far in the video. But anyway, remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.